When the Lord first revealed that to me, I was so full of corruption. And I'm telling you, I literally spoke myself out of hell. And I know we've had the Word of Faith movement across this country for years. There's a lot of truth in it. Because what you believe will definitely affect your life. What you speak will affect your life, whether it's for good or evil. If we could really get a hold of it. And we all know these things. And that's why I stress it's so important for us. I don't care how many years you've known God, how many years you've sought after God, no matter how much Bible you read, if you don't take that time to get to know Him intimately. And what happens is you get to know Him within yourself. And then you literally fall in love. It sounds so crazy. It's so real. You fall in love with yourself because there's the most beautiful essence of His presence within you. And never again do you condemn yourself. You never, of course when you make a mistake, you get in the flesh, of course you recognize it. But never again do you fall under any guilt and condemnation, because you know that for this purpose was the Son of God manifested, that He might destroy the works of the devil. And that's what He's doing in each of our lives. You say, the devil, yeah. This is right between your ears. Don't look for some devil out here. Because the only devil you will ever know is the carnal mind. You'll never know another devil. And again, see, these are things, when God begins to unveil to you the truth of the two men that are on the earth, Adam and Christ, and you realize that you are getting your life source from one of these two men. Adam, speaking of what we call the fallen man or the carnal man, you're either drawing your life substance from one of these two men, the carnal or the spiritual. And I know years ago I thought, because I was, I received Jesus and everything, I thought that made me spiritual, but I realized it does not make you spiritual. The only thing that causes us to become a spiritual person is by having Christ formed in us and raised up within us. And there's nothing you can do to make that happen. And the more you try to make it happen, the more it will prove to yourself that you're still living under the law of sin and death, or the carnal nature. The moment you try to improve your life by doing something good or righteous or holy, you can immediately recognize that you are in the flesh. Because you cannot perfect carnality. You cannot perfect what we call the old man or the self-life. You can't possibly do anything to make it godly. Oh, you can buff it up, and you can stop swearing and chasing women and chewing on stogies. You can do a lot of stuff. But God's not after a bunch of good people. God is raising up the one new man on the earth. That's what He's doing today. Oh my God. These days, I've been a church history buff. And over the years, I have read the biographies of all of what we call the spiritual great men. I've read about all the moves of God that have taken place. I'll tell you what, today I would rather live right now than in any other age. And when I was reading about the great moves of God and the mighty men of God, I'll tell you, I'm glad I did, but I was just so disappointed And I used to ask God, where is this living water? Where is this joy? And I'll never forget one night I was so hungry to experience some of the joy of the Lord. And the only reason I didn't is because I was in Pentecostal churches and I learned how bad I was all the time. I was under God's judgment. So I was feeling so bad one night, and I was going to a home meeting, and I said, God, I'd give anything. I just need to experience your joy. And so I went to this meeting, a home meeting, and during the meeting, a lady there began to sing in tongues, in the Spirit. And as she did, the words started coming to me, and so I began to sing with her, and we sang a duet in tongues. Well, that made me feel a little bit of joy. But then when we were finished, she came up to me and she said, Brother, the Lord tell the lady that I was singing with, come up to me, she said, Brother, the Lord tells me you've been asking him for joy. And she said, I want you to know, God told me tonight he's going to give you joy. And she put her hands on me and I fell on the floor laughing. I bet I laughed for 4 hours. I said, Lord, I've had enough of your joy. But, those kind of experiences are wonderful. They really are. But you know what? Today, I never have to ask for anything. I don't have to ask for joy. I don't have to ask for peace. I don't have to ask for money. I just enjoy life. No matter what I'm doing, I enjoy life. No matter what the circumstances are, no matter what somebody would pronounce on me, I mean, you cannot rob the joy of the Lord. Yeah. And so we're meeting people today all over the earth that are coming into an awareness of what they've known most of their Christian life, that Jesus really does live in me.
That's right.
I really do have the Spirit of God living in me. And so, when we begin to really experience that, then we know the truth of everything that Jesus taught. It just makes so much sense. Even 2,000 years ago, he said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Here it is 2,000 years later, and Christians are still waiting for the kingdom to come. They're waiting for the kingdom to be established on the earth. Listen, the only place the kingdom will be established on the earth is in this earth.
Right.
It's not going to come out of the sky. I had a friend, some of you knew him, Floyd Watson. He upset me when I first heard him say this. He said, there ain't nobody outside of you coming to help you at all. There's nobody out there coming to help you. And I said, God, what is this? Because I've been waiting for years for something to happen. All we need is an unveiling of the reality of our being. Because we are spiritual beings. We are Christ, the anointed of God, in these temples. And the only reason that we don't experience more of that is we have not taken charge of this carnal mind. You say, I can't do that? Well, you can in yourself, but if you realize, if you have that unveiling of the reality of Christ in you, then you'll experience what Paul did. He says, it's no longer I that live, it's Christ that lives within me. At one point, whether he was speaking of himself or not, I don't know, but it seemed like he was. In Romans 7, he said, every time I try to do good, evil is present with me.